Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying Solve Challenge Finals. I am thrilled to be joined today by two members of our community, Professor Dame Sally Davies and Kengs Susumpow. Dame Sally is the Master of Trinity College, Cambridge, and the Executive Chair of the Trinity Challenge, powered by MIT Solve. Among her many accomplishments, she is the former Chief Medical Officer for England and former UK Special Envoy on Antimicrobial Resistance. Dame Sally, it is an honor to have you here for this conversation.
Thank you.
Kengs Susumpow is the co-founder of Opendream, creators of PWADD. He's a 2020 health security and pandemic solver and the grand prize winner of the Trinity Challenge. A huge welcome to you both. So Keng, I would love to start with you. You were selected as a solver in the 2020 Health Security and Pandemics Challenge for your solution, which is called PWADD. So tell us, what is PWADD?
Yeah, Sawadee krap from Thailand, and thank you very much for the questions. PWADD stands for Participatory One Health Disease Detection, so it's PODD, and it's a collaboration project under Chiang Mai University in Thailand. So in short, we are trying to turn the farmers into disease detectives to stop the future pandemics before it happens. We equip the communities with the mobile applications, and we call event processing system and real-time notifications to monitor animal sickness events that can potentially affect the human health. The vital parts of PWADD is not only using the app to collect the data, but what we are doing also use the app as a gateway to facilitate the rapid response by the community members, such as immediate quarantine or notifying community members to support the farmers. PWADD can reduce detection and responding time from multiple weeks in Thailand to just a few hours by doing this. And it stops the spread of the potential animal outbreak before it spills over to humans.
Thank you, Keng. That's truly incredible. Dame Sally, I would love to turn to you next. So the Trinity Challenge is a really exciting partnership that involves multinational corporations, universities, foundations, governments around the world. And the challenge called for solutions to the question, how can data and analytics be used to better identify, respond to, and recover from global health emergencies? So tell us what led you to focus specifically on data and analytics in this challenge.
Thank you, Pooja. And first, I want to thank MIT Solve for powering our challenge. You were great partners, and congratulate Keng. As you've heard, PODD is just amazing. So what happened was the pandemic started, and I sat there, having been the Chief Medical Officer and Chief Medical Advisor to the UK government, wondering why we weren't better prepared and how we could be better responding. And it seemed to me that we didn't have the data where it needed to be, nor the data analytics we needed to make policy effectively and move on to action. And just imagine a world where we had systems in place to identify emerging or re-emerging risks, to pick up spillover, to do rapid analysis, and systems where the data told us how to respond most effectively to infectious diseases and pandemics, how to recover best. And you can imagine that. But then if you start to think about what that data is, you know that it's not just what public health systems or governments hold, it's much more. A lot of the data is behavioral. It's about movement, it's about attitudes, it's about spending and economics, and that needs to be linked. And who holds that data? Well, it's the private sector. So what we did through the Trinity Challenge was bring together the private sector, who hold data and have some wonderful data architects, with the academics, as well as NGOs, and pose this challenge to the world, in the hope that by having the data analytics of best quality and varied data sets, people could come up with some wonderful solutions. We were trying to engineer a collision between public health and modern data science, which actually has been too long coming. So that was what got us going in the first place and moving forwards.
Incredible, and such an important goal. I think we see from the scale of the pandemic, there really is no other way to address this issue and to think about future pandemics as well. And one thing that's so exciting about Keng, your solution, is that it's really getting at the issue at the grassroots and trying to stop the problem at the source. I would love to hear, Keng, so you have been part of the Solve program now for a year as a solver, and also you're partnering with the Trinity Challenge. So tell us a little bit about how your time as a solver team, and then also how your partnership with the Trinity Challenge has really helped to accelerate your solution. How has it helped you grow and scale? And maybe tell us one or two exciting things that are coming up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Our time in the Solve program was really quick. I would say it's around 9 months that we have been like fully participate. One thing that Solve program help us think is just only one question, only one crucial question for us that we need to find the answer for that, which is what is PODD? And we spent several months to answer that question. But when we got an answer for that, it helps us to be more precise on what we want to do for the world. And the Trinity Challenge support can help us achieve that. What we are planning to do is to turn PODD, what we are doing in Thailand, into a toolkit and open source both software and content, so every communities in the world can have its own version of PODD. It does not necessarily need to be similar to what we are doing in Thailand, but with PODD toolkit, we hope that we aim to support the international community start thinking about engaging the public back to the public health, back to animal health, back to environmental health, and ultimately back to One Health problem solving.
Fantastic. Thank you, Keng. So I wanted to go back to you, Dame Sally, for one more question, which is around what is happening in the world now with the pandemic. So 2021 has been a year of ups and downs. There's been a lot of great excitement around the rapid development of vaccines, which has been incredible, but the threat of COVID-19 is continuing, and now these new variants are emerging. Of course, solutions like Kengs are so important as we try to stop future pandemics and as we try to stop the impacts of the current pandemic. But we would love to hear from you. What are the lessons that are most important for innovators like Keng, like other innovators who are working on this issue as they continue the fight to beat this pandemic and protect communities against future ones?
Thank you. Well, I think we all know that data and technology are underpinning successes, whether it's vaccine technology, better logistics for PPE or getting vaccines to people, or actually using technology as it is. I mean, here we are talking to each other over Zoom, and a lot of home working is happening. Medical care in high and middle income countries has been revolutionized by video contacts. Families have kept in contact. But what we were after with the Trinity Challenge and Keng and PODD absolutely show is getting the bottom-up ideas that really matter to the public, not just in high-income countries, but in low and middle-income countries that can make a difference using data and technology. So you've heard about our grand winner, and from the moment I heard about it, I was crossing my fingers that they'd win, but we did have 340 applications from 62 countries, and most of them were aimed at making global goods. I mean, two of our other winning teams, Cushy Health and Living Goods, understand that rural regions in India and Africa are very vulnerable to outbreaks and disease spread. And so they're supporting community health workers through digital to deliver better services. The Sentinel forecasting system, one of our joint second winners, is integrating real-time data on viruses like Lassa fever circulating in animals and looking at land use and past spillover to try and predict where things are going to spill over and where the risk is next. AI is being used by Blood Counts, the mathematical department in Cambridge, because what they show is that over 70% of the 3.4 billion full blood counts done across the world every year are done using one Japanese company's machines that holds lots of data deep inside, and their preliminary data using AI shows us a COVID signature. Now, if that holds true, then we've got a screening test for the whole of the world. So, you know, from blockchain being used by the winner vaccine ledger to make sure that vaccines are not lost en route, not wasted, it's just amazing what digital and technology can do, and that will benefit all countries. And so that's what we were after. But you have to put all of that beside the amazing developments in vaccine technology that we're going to need for new variants as they develop, and think also much more in the future about logistics, not just blockchain technology, but the science of how we make sure we don't get queuing, and how we get what products we need to the people who need them on the front line. So data, technology, logistics, many different sciences coming together to help the world going forward.
Thank you, Dame Sally. Keng, I wanted to turn it back to you for 1 second. What is one piece of advice that you would like to pass on to the innovators that we are just about to announce as our 2021 Health Security and Pandemics cohort? One piece of most important advice about working with Solve.
I'm not a very good advisor, so I have like one helpful idea that I think is will be very helpful. I think creating impactful and sustainable change is a very long game. So for us, it took almost a decade to be recognized and elevated by Solve program and the Trinity challenge. So just do not give up just yet, and the journey has just begun.
Amazing. What great advice to close on, and what an inspiring message. So thank you both so much for your time today, for your commitment to partnering to solve the world's greatest health challenges. And we are so excited, and hopefully we have really inspired our new Health Security and Pandemics cohort, which we are announcing right now. So thank you again, Dame Sally, thank you, Keng, and without further ado, please welcome Solve's 2021 Health Security and Pandemics Solver class.